This
Good morning,
conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everybody. This is Vinaya Sarmakar on behalf of Kelly Society's College of BCA RLSI Belagavi. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome our guest for today's session. Our guest for today's session, Surya Prakash Mohapatra sir from Global Head Learning and Development Wipro. We welcome you, sir. I also welcome all the students for this session. I hope you all will have a great learning. So now I request Surya Prakash sir to continue with the session.
Good morning. Can you all see me and listen to me as well? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Really happy to be here with all of you today. And KLE is a very prestigious institution. Though I have never been to the campus myself, but I've heard a lot about this prestigious institution. I would like to know who is going to anyone is going to help me with the slides.
Yes, sir, I'll be helping you. So Vinaya here. Vinaya.
Okay. So I think as I suggest that let's move on to the next slide, or I can say as we move on, we can move to the next slide.
Yes, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, yes. We can go back to the title slide again.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Just give me a second.
Yes.
So let me welcome all of you to this session. And today we're going to talk about some top technology trends. And we'll also discuss how we can get ready. All of us know that technology has dramatically influenced our lives today. Our personal, familial, social, professional life completely has been influenced, revolutionized, and disrupted by technology. And this is going to remain like this for several decades in future. So it's important for all of us to understand what these technology trends are and also spend some time talking about how we can get ready for this. So for the next 30 minutes or so, I would like to share some of my perspectives, and then we'll open it up for any questions and answer or any discussion that we may have. So I'm going to talk about a few technology trends now. And some of you, or many of you, may be familiar with some of these technologies because you are students of technology. But having said that, I think in the context of our times, we will discuss how relevant they are and how they are going to change our lives. So as we move on, the very first technology that I'm going to talk about very briefly is artificial intelligence. Let's move on. As we move on, I don't see the slide. Yeah. So my you can move the slide. That will be really helpful.
Yes.
So the artificial intelligence is going to change our life. This is the ability of machines to think like human beings to take decisions like human beings. And today and tomorrow, machines are going to become so intelligent that they would be able to take decisions like human beings as proficiently and efficiently, and maybe sometimes better than human beings. And that's something that we're going to see in the near future. So if you look at Netflix, if you look at Amazon Prime, if you look at various other experiences in our life, the products that we buy, the services that we use, many of them have been augmented, or many of them have been really enhanced by the power of artificial intelligence technology. As we move on, another technology that I'm going to talk about now is blockchain. Banks, financial institutions, and for financial transactions. The way this is going to revolutionize our financial transactions, finance in the world that we live in, is going to be tremendous, and then we will see the influence of blockchain in our day-to-day lives. Cloud computing is going to be another technology which is going to influence our business, our professional lives. Many of you are already experiencing the power of this technology. This will give more power to organizations. It's going to become cost effective, cost efficient, and this is going to be one of the revolutions, or already it has become a revolution of technology in the present world. This is only going to become more omnipresent and all pervasive in the near future. As we move on, let's look at another technology, which is IoT, Internet of Things. This is the interface between technology and physical products, right? So technology will actually interface with your physical products. For example, you can give instructions to your refrigerator. You can give instructions to equipments and machineries in factories. You can use technology to give instructions to your machineries in the agricultural field. So this is going to be the interface between technology, sometimes which is virtual, and the real world. So that's going to be really powerful, and then we are going to see this technology in play. We have already started seeing that, and we'll see more of that in near future. As we move on, let's look at another technology. Yeah, see, we're talking about wearable technology. So near future, seeing many devices. It actually started with healthcare and fitness devices, which people started wearing to check their health parameters, to check how many calories they have burnt. But that's the beginning. But in the near future, you will find human beings wearing multiple devices. Movie that we probably saw about 10-15 years ago. Those devices are going to augment our life and probably become more efficient in our day-to-day lives. So this is going to be another important technology, which is going to really influence our personal, social, and professional lives. As we look at the next technology, data analytics, it's going to influence us in a big way, is the power of big data. Today, everything is being influenced by the big data. There is tremendous influence that big data has on our day-to-day lives. Individuals, organizations, are leveraging big data for decision making in a big way. They're looking at data. Almost all organizations, all industries, all functions within an organization, whether it is business, sales, HR, quality, learning and development, all functions, all organizations, all industries are now leveraging data for analytics, for decision making. So data analytics or big data is powering business intelligence and efficient and effective decision making. That's going to be a powerful technique. As we move on, intelligent spaces, not just we human beings, not just the devices that we use, not the devices that we wear, but our spaces, our workspaces, our homes, our offices, our malls, etc., are going to become more intelligent spaces. So our offices are going to become more intelligent spaces. As we walk into our office space, your smart office will give you recommendations, notifications, suggestions, and you will be able to use the smartness of the intelligent offices that you have again for better decision making, better transactions, better actions, and all of that. So the spaces that we're going to live in, including our homes and offices, are going to become smart spaces, smart offices, smart homes. So we will see more intelligent spaces as we move on. Let's look at another technology. Natural language processing. Machines will be able to understand our language. They'll be able to create new language. They will be able to process language. They'll be able to process text and derive meaning out of it. And machines tomorrow will be able to write blogs. Machines can even write a book. And imagine how powerful that technology can be. And this technology is also very scary. So if machines can write books, shall we need writers, authors in future? But this is the power of technology. So machines are going to understand natural language, not just the machine language. They'll be able to understand natural language. They'll be able to decipher meaning out of it. They'll be able to write in natural language itself, and then they can create text, articles, blogs, white papers, case studies, and they can even write books. That's the future. Now let's move on. Look at another technology, voice recognition and chatbots. You're already familiar with it, and you are seeing voice recognition is a powerful tool. Alexa is a great example. Many of us use that. Chatbots have been used in business, commerce, and customer interactions, etc., and in day-to-day interaction. And this will continue to influence our life. We will see more leverage of this. And in future, machines will not just recognize your voice, they will also be able to recognize your emotions, your feelings, and they'll be able to appropriately respond to you. So machines can, to a great extent, make our call centers, contact centers redundant, because they can take calls, they can answer customer queries, they can respond to customer questions, and so on. And they can even recognize emotions of the customers. They can figure out if a customer is sad, angry, upset, or in a happy mode. Another powerful technology. Let's look at yet another technology. Robots. Robots are going to influence our life. They're going to be there all over. They're going to make our life more comfortable, more seamless. They will help us in doing transactional tasks as well as more complex tasks. They're going to be there in all aspects of our life, whether it is entertainment, travel, business, or professional activities. They're going to be there all over the place. Even there is prediction that robots can also become soldiers and fight wars. They can fire bullets. They can fire They can use sophisticated arms and ammunitions, and they're going to be there all over the place. Now, hotels have started using them to serve their guests. Airports in Germany and other European countries are using robots for car parking and whatnot. And my dear students, these robots are going to coexist with us. They will live with us. They would become part and parcel of our lives. At workplaces, in offices, in organizations, you will find men and robots working together. Robots will become co-workers at the workplace. They're going to be a part and parcel of our personal, social, and professional life. So as we move on, dear students, these are some of the technologies that I wanted to talk about. Here is another one, which is augmented and virtual reality. Virtual reality will give you the experience of getting immersed in an experience. So if you want to understand how the bank work, you can experience that through a virtual reality. You can put on your virtual reality gear and then experience, and you can go through an immersive experience. Today, because of COVID-19, many of the factories have shut down. Companies like Maruti and other automobile companies who actually recruit engineers, they put them in their shop floor for training. But today, because of the shutdown, many factories have shut down, and to avoid any crowd or to ensure social distancing, they have not been able to bring their training engineers into their factories. But now these engineers learn how to operate these instruments and machines uh, by using virtual reality or augmented reality. So they can get the feel of the real car engine without being in the soft floor. They can really look at the different parts. They can virtually operate different parts, and then understand the mechanism, understand the mechanics, understand how different parts work, etc. So virtual reality will make simulated learning, will make simulation. Not speaking, I would request you to go on mute, or if the host can mute everybody. I think you may have the rights to mute everybody. You can mute.
So you can unmute your mic, sir.
I did not realize that I was on. So these are some of the technology I wanted to talk about, and this technology are going to make our lives interesting, fun, comfortable, seamless, exciting, very, very positive. At the same time, my dear students, this technology will also disrupt our lives. They will take away many, many jobs. Many people will become jobless. Many professions will go away. Many industries will shut down. Many organizations will shut down. For example, today nobody uses a typewriter. Nobody writes in a postcard. Telegram is a thing of the past. Many restaurants might close down because you might just order your food virtually. And black swan events like COVID-19, etc., are only expediting some of those transitions. So while these technologies are going to make our life exciting, which will give us more power, you can create your own video, you can create your own music, you can get your book authored, you can get immersive experiences, you can have fantastic decision-making capability, leveraging big data, etc. Please understand this will also disrupt our lives. People's livelihood will get impacted, jobs will go away, organizations will shut down, industries will completely transform. This will have an impact on our lives, on our livelihood, on our day-to-day living, our lifestyle, and so on. So the reality is technology is here to stay. It's not going to go away. It's also the fact that it's going to disrupt our lives, our profession, our employment opportunity, our jobs. How can I get ready for this? How can I get ready for the future? How can you get ready for the future, students? That's something that we will talk about in the next few minutes. So here are some tips that I'm going to share with you. Each slide will have one tip, and let's begin with the first one. The first one is be the first mover. Technology is dynamic. It is changing very fast, changing very, very fast. So when we talk about, we talk about the telecom technology, and then we talk about, 2G and 3G and 4G. Now we're talking about 5G. Imagine at what pace this telecom revolution is happening. It's happening at a phenomenal pace. The software programs, the languages that we used in the past, you don't have to use them today or tomorrow. Many of them
Students, please
programming
mute your audio.
C++, Java, etc., which are hot today, might just go away tomorrow. You may have a Python, a Raspberry, and you may have some other programming language which probably would rule the industry in the near future. So this technology is changing very fast, and it's important that you also change very fast. So whenever a new technology comes, be the first one to learn. Don't wait for this technology to become more mature. Don't wait for best courses to evolve in those areas. Try and figure out, be the first one to learn. You can learn on the job, you can have a coach who can help you, you can enroll for a course with Udemy or Coursera or edX or with any other MOOCs provider, or have a mentor, but be the first mover. That's how you can make yourself risk proof. You can prevent yourself from getting obsolete. Be the first mover. Be the first one to learn. Don't try to be the best, but try to be the first. That's important. Being the best always may not help you, because by the time you have become the best may not be relevant anymore. It is important, it's good to be the best, but it's more important to be the first one to learn. So be the first mover with technology. The next advice that I have for you, my 2 cents for you. Be a lifelong learner. So it's not enough to learn once or twice or thrice. You have to be a lifelong learner. You may become a teacher, you may become a professor, you may become somebody, a mentor, you may become an expert who is helping others or teaching others. But if you don't teach yourself, if you don't learn yourself, you will become obsolete very soon. So be prepared that after you complete your BCA or MCA, don't think that your learning is over. It's just the beginning. You have to keep learning all your life. You have to become a lifelong learner. That's absolutely important. Be a lifelong learner. Next piece of advice to all of you, be a problem solver. Technology may become obsolete, jobs may go away, roles might change, but if you are a problem solver, organizations would always want to retain you. They would not want to lose you. If you have problem solving skills, if you have the ability to look at a problem, analyze, slice and dice the problem, analyze the problem, the root cause, and have the ability to find solutions to the problem, if you have analytical thinking and critical thinking, you will be always needed. They know that you can pick up new technology, but there are very few who are problem solvers. So if you prove to your manager, to your team, to your organization that you are a problem solver, you can solve problems for them, they would always want to have you. So it's like making your job secure if you are a problem solver. But on the other hand, if you are a problem creator, if you are a cribber who always cribs about problems, they won't want to have you. They would say, this is a problem creator, he always cribs about problems. So they would not want to have you. If you are a complainant, if you always keep complaining that this is not right, that is not right, my workspace is not right, my salary is not enough, my role is not interesting, I am not getting the support from my team, my manager is not helping me. If you keep cribbing, nobody would love you or like you. They might listen to you once or twice, but if you keep cribbing all the time, they will think that you are the problem, not others. So be a problem solver. Next one, develop higher order thinking. What does it mean? All of us are good at transactional work. You know, we can cut vegetables, we can drive, we can ride a motorbike, we can drive a car, maybe we can do data entry. But these are all low. These tasks require lower order thinking. But machines are going to take away all tasks which are transactional, which require lower order thinking. If the job that you're doing today requires lower order thinking, that may not exist tomorrow. So develop higher order thinking. Higher order thinking is the ability, is the thinking that helps you to perform complex tasks, which helps you to create something new, which helps you to solve a problem, which helps you to synthesize. If you're writing a research paper, that requires higher order thinking. If you're analyzing and problem solving, that requires higher order thinking. If you're writing a book, that requires higher order thinking. So develop skills which will help you do more higher order thinking, because tasks that require lower order thinking will go away. Your teller machines in the banks, your testing in software development, even some programming activities in future will be automated. Machines, robots will do the coding. So always think about tasks which require more higher order thinking, because your brain is the most complex, at the same time the most powerful device that you have at your disposal, more powerful than the smartphones and the sophisticated machines that you have with you. So work on developing higher order thinking. As we move on and look at the next advice, the next piece of advice to your students is be open and flexible. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is be flexible and open. Don't be rigid. Don't be stringent. Don't say that my life has to move this way or no other way. That's not going to help you.
So you're able to talk, sir?
Sir, your
Can you
audio
hear
and
me?
video is not visible. Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Only your video is not visible.
My camera is on. I don't know what's the problem. Let me keep talking. But
Yeah.
when did you lose me? Did I talk about this slide or I could not?
Yes, sir. At the end of the slide, sir.
You want me to start with this slide again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, you want me to start again with this slide or did you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can start.
Okay. So be open and flexible is about being open to accept different ideas and different options. So being flexible is opposed to being rigid or stringent. So in today's world, we cannot be rigid and stringent. So what I mean by that is, you cannot say, or should not say, that I will only work in this industry, or I will only do this job, or I will only work for an IBM or a Microsoft or a no. But if a startup gives you a good opportunity, be flexible, be open. If you say I'm going to only work out of Bangalore or Karnataka, I'm not going to work out of Chennai or Hyderabad or Delhi or Gurgaon or Pune. I only want to work out of Bangalore, or only want to work out of Hyderabad. That means you are not flexible. I only want to work for a multinational company. I'm not interested in working for a startup. Then you are not flexible. In today's world, you can't be rigid and stringent. You have to become like a bamboo tree. A bamboo tree? Bamboo tree never breaks. When there is a cyclone, sometimes big trees get uprooted. A bamboo tree never gets uprooted. And do you know why? Because it's very flexible. In whichever direction the wind blows, it sways itself in that direction. It is not rigid. But other trees, sometimes the big banyan tree, and then some other trees who are rigid, who refuse to move, they get uprooted. In today's times, when the wind is blowing, we cannot become rigid. We have to become open, we have to become flexible, and then only we can survive. Next advice, next suggestion that I have for you is, as you move on, create your own brand. In today's world, people's memory is short-lived. People don't remember things. Even if you do great things in your organization, they may not remember that. And just imagine when you switch on your smartphone, there are so many notifications that you're receiving. You are receiving notification from Twitter, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from Times of India, from WhatsApp, and so on. It's a crowded space. It's very, very crowded. So many people, so many entities are just competing with each other to get your attention. Think about yourself. Think about yourself. Are you getting enough attention? Are you drawing enough attention? Because you are competing with thousands of others, people who are trying to get that attention. So it's important that you create your own brand. How do you create your own brand? Create your own blog page, or maybe create a LinkedIn profile where you write your articles regularly. Maybe have your own YouTube channel and then publish videos about topics of your interest. Create your own brand. There are different ways that you can create. I have just suggested a few. Next one, next suggestion for all of you is network. Network is your network is your net worth. The more network, more connected you are, the stronger is your connections and network, and then the more capable you can be to leverage your network at the time of need. So connect with more people, have more mentors, peers, connect with leaders in the industry. Send me if you so networking is important. So use powerful networking tools like LinkedIn, etc., to connect with other people and with industry leaders and mentors. I would expect to receive a a connect request from you guys on LinkedIn if you agree with this point and if you feel that this advice was useful. Let me see how many connect requests I'm receiving at the end of this session. Let's move on. But before that, do you all have a LinkedIn profile? Can you use a chat window and then say yes or a no? I may not be able to see the chat window, but madam, if you can tell me the response from the students.
Yes, so many of them have, sir.
Good. The next one is be prepared for any eventuality. What does it mean? This means that in spite of doing everything, You might still lose your job. You might still be without a job. You might still be in a situation where your company shuts down. So be prepared. The future is uncertain, complex, ambiguous, volatile. Be prepared. Be prepared for any eventuality. But keep in mind that any eventuality does not mean the end of the road. So if you lose your job, that's okay. I have lost my job in my professional career. I found another one. It's not the end of the road. But in today's uncertain world, this is likely to happen. If you're prepared, you are better prepared to handle the situation. But if you're not prepared for it, this could mean stress, frustration, anxiety. This could mean, um, nervous breakdown. This could mean other personal challenges. But if you're prepared, you'll be in a position to deal with better. Be prepared for any eventuality, and you'll be able to bounce back if you're prepared. This is not the end of the road. I think now I'm moving towards the last piece of advice that I have for all of you as we move on to the next slide. No, actually, there are two more. So this one is about developing multiple specializations. So develop multiple specializations. And we are living in a world today where one specialization is not enough. So if you think about the medical devices that doctors use in the hospital, in the operation theater, those devices have been created by those devices. Um, the brain of a mechanical engineer, an electronics engineer, or a computer engineer, and a health specialist. All of them have come together to create something like this. And each one of them understand to some extent or a good extent the specialization of the other domain. So today a doctor cannot say that I don't have to understand technology because I know. I'm a heart specialist. I know how the heart operates. I know what medicines should be given for a heart patient. But that's not enough, because as a heart specialist, you may have to use sophisticated equipments, technologies. So as a doctor, if you don't know technology, you'll not be able to, you can't become effective. Similarly, if you are a student of finance or economics, you also need to understand technology. If you are a student of computer science, you need to understand finance, accounting, economics, language, and so on. So developing multiple specialization is important. There is something called a T method. A T method is, it talks about one subject where you should go deep, and there are many subjects that you should know quite well. So go deep into one area, go horizontally into many areas. That's all about multiple specializations. The last one is develop essential soft skills. While it is important to know technology, know domain, no sophisticated equipments, no programming languages, no big data, artificial intelligence. But your soft skills will stay with you forever. Technology will keep changing. Programming language that you use today will change tomorrow. You will have to learn a new programming language. But if you have developed good communication skills, collaboration skills, influencing skills, networking skills, those skills will stay with you forever. They will not go away. They will always stand by you and help you at the time of need. Now let's move on to the last slide, which talks about my coordinates. You can, if you want to reach out to me on email, here is my email ID. I'm on Twitter. You can, if you want to follow me, this is my Twitter handle, which is PM Surya. If you want to listen to my talks and watch my lectures, etc., you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Surya Mohapatra Official. Thank you very much for giving me a patient hearing. Students, I will now stop and pause here, and I would love to take some questions that you may have.
Um, Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir,
Please go ahead.
as a leader, what kind of difficulties you have faced till in your experience?
What can you just tell me your name and then in which yeah,
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you, sir.
just share your name and any specialization that you are kind of pursuing.
Yeah, it's Rajeshwari, and I am pursuing BCA.
All right. So Rajeshwari, what kind of challenges I faced in my professional career as a leader? Well, in a professional career which is more than 20 years, I would have faced many challenges, not just one or two. So I think one of the challenges for me was when I moved from a small town called Bhubaneswar to Bangalore to take up a job. Earlier, I was managing a small location in a company called Computer Garage. Then I moved to a national level role in Bangalore. I moved to Bangalore to take charge of their franchisee centers across India. So that was a very big shift from one city to a national level role. It was challenging for me to get ready for that role. So there is one challenge. The second challenge that I can think of is right now, the COVID-19 situation is a big challenge. Personally, I'm trying to make sure that our organization, within the team or function that I manage, we manage it effectively. Our customers are happy. Also, at the same time, my team members who are in different places, who are finding it difficult to manage their home and professional life, how do you really support them? How do I take care of my customers, my team, my stakeholders? This is a very big challenge. But I think going back to some of the suggestions that I shared, I have applied them in my life. When I moved from Bhubaneswar to Bangalore, from a local role to a national level role, the only way I could survive is because I could network with people, I could focus on learning, I could focus on problem solving. These skills really helped me become, adjust and adapt to my role quickly. I was never arrogant because I got a bigger role. I was always, willing and keen to learn, but at the same time, be conscious about my responsibilities. So I think the suggestions that I have given you are the ones that I have practiced myself, and they have helped me deal with my challenges better. But I'm still learning, Rajeshwari. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, sir. And thank you so much. I would like
Thank
to
you, Rajeshwari.
implement this when I get a great platform like you, which you're doing right now.
Absolutely. All the best, and
Thank you, sir.
keep that dream big, keep that high ambition, and then you will get there. And do all the right things. Be humble. Have empathy and compassion for everyone. Focus on your learning. You will get there. Is there any other question from any other student?
All clear, sir.
Sir, on behalf of
Great.
students, I'll put one question, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Sir, what do you think that top 3 skills that they should develop as a BCA student to get into the corporate?
You're talking about technology skills or?
Yes, technology skills, sir. Technology skills.
Okay. So basically, I've talked about the latest technologies, Mr. Vishnu. I think some of the technology which are going to really be very, very powerful. One is artificial intelligence. Other one is big data. These two are going to remain very, very relevant. Others that we can look at probably cloud computing, and of course, things like Internet of Things, etc. But the two top picks for me, one would be AI, other one is big data. From a
Okay, sir.
technology point of view, they should focus on that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Of course, it depends on their own interest and where they want to go. But these are the top technologies which are going to rule the industry over the next couple of decades, at least for next 1 decade.
Sir, and also I came across few articles where it has mentioned about the freelancing and this profession, gig jobs, which will gain momentum in this post-pandemic thing. What's your take on that, sir?
Yes, so gig economy is already a reality. Now people are going to work part-time. They're going to work for multiple employers at the same time. They're going to work for 2 or 3 days a week, and so on. So this is going to be reality. So one is understand that this is going to be the reality. Tomorrow, if you don't have a full-time job, don't hesitate to pick up an internship. Don't hesitate to pick up a freelancing assignment, because full-time jobs may not exist tomorrow. Organizations have realized that they should become more flexible in employment, because if they recruit freelancers, contract employees, they can, as and when they look for a particular niche skill, that skill may not exist within the organization. But if they need a particular person to work on a project for 3 months or 6 months, and that person should have particular skill set, they can just go to the market, get that person, onboard that person for 6 months. So it gives a lot of flexibility to employers. It also gives a lot of flexibility to employees. So prepare for that. This also means more flexibility, agility. It means that you need to keep learning all the time and be prepared to look for jobs all the time. Because if you if you're working on a project and then you complete that, then you'll have to look for another assignment. But that's going to be really interesting and challenging. It'll also give you a lot of flexibility and freedom to manage your personal and professional life.
So there's a question from
Did
a
I answer your
student.
question? Yes.
Sir, perfectly, sir.
Sir, a student is asking, what is going to happen if robots take control over the human? How is the situation going to be?
The robots are going to take over the roles of human beings. That is going to happen. And that has happened in many cases already. Robots have already taken over many jobs. So in Germany, where the hotels are using robots for serving their guests, that means they have eliminated few jobs of their hotel staff. But that's now going to be seen more in complex tasks. So we need to be prepared for it. Now, what is going to change? So there are a couple of things that we need to be prepared. One is we might accept or be prepared for the fact that my job may be taken over by a robot tomorrow. So I need to be prepared that I might lose my job. I have to look for another job. The second thing I should be prepared for is, okay, my job may not go away, but I will have a robo as a colleague. So in a team of 10 people, there may be 2 robots who are working with 8 people. And robots and human beings are working together. So I'll have to learn how to effectively deal with robots, because I can only work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, where robots can work 24 hours a day, and then 7 days a week and 365 days a year, except for some breakdown period, etc. But even those things can become very minimal. So I need to be prepared to accept them as co-workers. Third thing that we need to be prepared for is what will happen if a robot makes a mistake. If a human being makes a mistake, you can give a warning, if you can penalize, you can terminate the employee. But if a robot makes mistake, what will you do? In the army, if a robot who is a soldier starts if suddenly the robot opens fires and kills many people, what punishment you will give that robot? So that's another challenge that all of us are going to grapple with. You don't know what to do when a robot makes a mistake. Of course, we can teach the robot to get better, but you can't penalize, you can't punish a robot. So now the question is it enough to just to be prepared for it and accept it? It is essential, it is required, but it may not be enough. We need to really understand that how we get better than the robot. How can we learn things that the robot can't do? But probably there'll be nothing that a robot can't do. But in the interim period, today, if a robot can do certain things, it is not capable of doing certain things, which only a human being can do. So I'll always have to keep thinking, how can I outsmart the robot? What are those things that a robot cannot do? What are the skills a robot doesn't have today? And then I'll have to really keep shifting my knowledge base from where it is today to knowledge and skills which probably I need to acquire in near future. That's why I think one of the things that I said during the session is be a lifelong learner and be a first mover. Whenever a new technology comes, be the first one to learn. So outsmart your competitors, your colleagues, and sometimes your cobots as well. At the same time, be prepared for new learning all the time. This means that you have to be good at what you are doing today and also prepare yourself for what you may have to do in future.
So they're asking for your LinkedIn ID, sir.
Just type my name, Surya Prakash Mohapatra. You will find me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, students?
If you bring up the title slide, it has my name in it, and students can really search for my name and then send me a request.
Okay, sir. I'll share it to them later, sir.
Sure, no problems.
Okay. So any other questions, students?
Sir, you were mentioning about learning as a continuous process throughout life. What is your take on learning, unlearning, and relearning, sir? Because students find it very difficult to learn a new thing whenever a new concept or any new idea gets into. As the ICT Academy is working with around 2,000 plus institutions across India, when we want to implement a new initiative like Learnathon kind of an initiative during this pandemic, it takes some time for the students, because the first comers always they come and they grab the opportunity, they start and they do it. But few of the students we find it very difficult because they do not take up any new thing immediately. how to overcome that, or how to take
yeah, that's a good question, Mr. Vishnu. There are three types of students, and there are also three types of employees in the organization. The first category of students are always willing to learn. They're passionate, they're curious, they're inquisitive, they have childlike curiosity, and they have the attitude, desire to learn more. That's the first category. And you don't have to tell them, teach them. And Mr. Vishnu, if ICT Academy does not provide these courses, they themselves will figure out where these courses are available, they will learn. But their percentage is very small, about 10%. Then you have 80% of students who always want to learn only if there is something in return. Why should I learn this? Will I get a job? And in the organization, there are these employees who think, why should I learn? Will I get a promotion? Will I get a salary increase? They always link it to a carrot or a stick, right? To some benefits or to some losses. If they think if they don't learn, they will lose something. Or if they don't learn, if they learn, they will gain something. They are about 80%. And then there are another 10% who want to learn, but they're too lazy, disciplined, disorganized. They never find time to learn. So this 10 plus 80 plus 10 So students, it is your choice. Where do you want to be? In the top 10% who are passionate, curious, inquisitive, who never complain that they have no time. They find time to learn because they enjoy learning. They have the fun of learning, and they have the attitude that they need to learn more. And people in the 80% category, they sometimes think that I know everything, I don't have to learn anything more. Or why should I learn? Well, what do I gain out of learning? Let me just focus on my BCA course, get a good score, and then I'm good. And there is good placement, I get a good job. Why do I need to learn more? So Mr. Vishnu, they want a carrot or a stick. They have to be told very clearly that if they don't learn, they don't have a future. They will be interested. The third category, who are indisciplined or disorganized, who are lazy, is difficult. They really need a mentor, a coach, a guide who can really help them. They need to be in touch with other students who are really passionate and curious, so that they have the peer pressure to learn. But the bottom line is, learning comes from within. Nobody can make you learn, neither KLE institution, nor ICT Academy, nor me, nor your professor. Learning has to come from within. If it doesn't come from within, learning will not happen. Learning cannot be forced on you, right? The best learning happens only when you are interested in learning. So my suggestion, my 2 cents should be, ignite that passion for learning. If you don't ignite it yourself, nobody else can ignite it for you.
So there's another question. They're asking whether you recommend MCA after their BCA or some other specialization course.
It depends. There is no one size fits all. There is no one recommendation for everybody. For me to make a recommendation, I would like to understand, talk to you, understand what is your career interest, what you want to do, etc. So I would not be very keen to make a generic recommendation, because each one of you comes with unique strengths and you have got your own aspirations in life. So anybody who wants to talk more about your career, drop me an email or connect me on LinkedIn. We can talk more about it. Personally, I believe it's definitely worthwhile looking at continuing with doing an MCA, because BCA itself is not enough, it's not adequate. So a master degree will help you. This is a very generic statement. It may not apply to everybody. And of course, thereafter specializations, because specialization you will have to do all your life. All your life you will have to pursue skill-based modules. Once you get your professional degree, which is MCA or MBA or BTech, whatever, once you get that, then all your life you have to go through professional specialization modules. New technologies will come, new business models will come, you will have to learn.
So there's another question. They're asking whether marks are equally important than the skill of a person.
At the initial stage of your career, yes. Not later on. When you start your job, prospective employees will look at your score as well as your skills, as well as your knowledge, your talent. But as you work for 10 years, then nobody will ask for your marks. Nobody will ask for what division that you got, first class or second class or whatever, what percentage you got. But initially, marks are important because you are competing with hundreds or thousands of your friends and other students like you who have got similar talent, similar knowledge. So all parameters that will differentiate one from other is important. So at the beginning of your career, marks should be important. Don't ignore that. Later on, they will not carry much value.
Okay, any other questions, students? You can unmute yourself or you can just drop the question in the chat box. Okay, I think they have asked all the questions. So I would like to
Right.
take this opportunity to thank our today's speaker, Surya Prakash Mohapatra sir, for sparing his valuable time and knowledge with us. I also extend my thanks to Vishnu Prasad sir, State Head, Karnataka ICT Academy, who helped us organizing this virtual Power Seminar Technology Trends webinar series. So, and also thank you to all the wonderful audience here. So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. Sir's LinkedIn profile has been shared in the chat box. You can just check that. ICT Academy is shared. I will share with email, Sir's email, Twitter, and YouTube credentials are shared. You can check the chat box.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed interacting with the students. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
It's our pleasure because it was really inspiring session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, students, for the patience listening. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.